but I came to Oak Ridge on October the 24th, 1944. I got out of World War II, out of the Army Air Corps in World War II on October the 14th, 1944. Came home to Cookeville, where I'm from, Cookeville, Tennessee, and I needed a job. They said there's no jobs in Cookeville, but there's a lot of jobs in a place called Oak Ridge. Says we don't know what they're doing up there, but sure there's a lot of jobs up there. So on October the 24th, the next week, I hitchhiked a ride to Oak Ridge through the K-25 area. And so I was 21 years old. And the next day, on the October the 25th, well, on October the 24th, that night, I stayed in an Army hutman in Oak Ridge. They had 2 double bunk beds in them. And I paid $1 and stayed in there on the night of October the 24th, 1944. The next day, on the 25th, I went down to the WWII weapons plant and hired in as a supervisor. 21 years old, they hired me as a supervisor in chemical recovery in B-25, that's building 9721, at the fabulous sum of $1 an hour. Now that was $40 a week. In 1944, that was excellent money. That was top wages in 1944. Well, I was supposed to supervise 15 females in chemical recovery. But to tell you the truth, they supervised me, I think, more than I supervised them. I didn't think I was making enough money. So I'd been there 3 months and at Y12 and didn't have a raise. So this buddy of mine says, John, unless you and I go to Knoxville and join the union and become a pipe fitter. Now my pipe fitters were making big money. They were making $3.50 an hour and plus all the overtime they wanted. 24 hours a day if you could stand it, because they were building. I said, I don't know anything about pipe fitting. I don't know one pipe from another. But he talked me into it. We went to Knoxville and joined the union as journeyman. A journeyman is a professional pipe fitter. They sent me and him to K-25 to work for Poe Piping Company. And Poe Piping was working on the first unit of building the K-25 building itself. So I helped build the K-25 building. Well, while at Poe Piping, this was also in the 45 and 46 I was out there. But in 45, some of us decided that we needed to do something for the war effort. So we decided we wanted to buy, I had been in the Army Air Corps, so we decided we wanted to buy a bomber. So we got together, decided we wanted to buy a B-26 bomber. So we said, well, let's give her some paychecks. So we decided that we would give, we kind of figured out the cost of that bomber, and we decided we would, people on only those on work for a construction company that contributed. So we would contribute 2 Sundays' paychecks to buy that bomber. And the 2 Sundays' paychecks that we donated was February the 4th and February the 11th, 1944. That's the 2 Sundays. So we bought the bomber, and they flew that B-26 bomber into McGee-Tyson Airport in Knoxville. And when it was over, when it landed, I was there and saw it land, and we went through the B-26 bomber. Then later, when it took off, I don't remember what base it went to in the United States, but it went to that base, and then within the next 2 or 3 days, the Army Air Corps pilots came in, and they flew that bomber out to the war zone.